right. Finally, we're good.
Finally, huh?
Yes. Now, this is the first episode, so we're going to be figuring some stuff out. We're a little late because technical difficulties.
That's the story of our life. This could be just like the bloopers.
Yeah.
The
No.
bloopers podcast.
Well, I did record the blooper intro, but we can save that maybe.
Yeah.
Well, all right. What are we doing?
Why don't you introduce the name, what this podcast is going to be called? And
Yeah. So,
intention.
what are we doing? We are still chilling. That's
Still
what
chilling.
we're doing. Still chilling. That's the name of the podcast. Known Carlos forever. We decided to kind of work on something.
As things often happen when you're drinking and you're having tequila,
Yeah.
the brightest idea come to fruition.
Well, I was not really a big tequila drinker really until I came back from Mexico this one time. Like I came back with like 6 bottles and I started actually like drinking it for the flavor. I don't know if that's because before I was just drinking whiskey, and then when I was in Mexico, I just started drinking it straight. I'm just used to like mixed tequila drinks, and I'm not too much into that anymore for sure. So I was just like tasting the actual tequila. Man, this is just good. I can just drink it without anything in there.
And to be fair, you didn't just come back from Mexico. You came from Jalisco.
Yes.
Altos part of Mexico,
Yep.
which, to those who don't know, is where tequila is made, right?
Yep. Where we're at, they make a lot of good ones. And next door in Arandas, they make a lot of good ones, for sure. Like we were there for like it was their Independence Day or something, but we didn't even know because I think it was September, but I think it was the 14th or something. It was a couple days. It wasn't even that time, but they closed down. They'd have like a party for like a week there.
That sounds about right. Parties lasted about a week in Mexico.
We just went to get tacos. I was like, hey, I want to have the best tacos. And Arandas is known for like having the best tacos. So we drove there just for that. And then halfway through the night, they start closing the streets. People on horseback start showing up down the middle of the street. And it turns into looks like a car show, but with people on horsebacks. And it just turns into like a whole 1,000 people on horses, basically. And then they got bandas on horses, bandas on buses. So, but anyway, that's where we started drinking a bunch of different tequilas for sure, because they were just offering them in the street.
That sounds like Mexico, and I think I think that's going to be a theme, right? Especially since we're going to start talking about tequila. I think a big part of it is as we've kind of grown up, right? I think would it be fair to say we're 80s babies, 90s kids, late 2000s kind of young adults, right? So we have that big swath of coming of age millennials, right? We're like the elder millennials, if you will. That's still part of that big group. And I think, I think we know that a lot of our friends, a lot of groups, they're doing things they love. And I think as we've grown older, we have now tequila to kind of start. And just like there's no shortage of things to do in Mexico, there's certainly no shortage of ideas between us. So I think we can get something that's kind of cohesive and, still chill while we do it.
It's great.
And so I'm a big whiskey drinker, as you know, and whiskey, it's fun to drink. It's just gone so difficult to get some of the good bottles. And it's like anything, right? And we'll touch upon these things about tequila. It's not the most expensive. It's not the cheapest. It's just the quality. And then what happens is some of those are bottles that are 20, 30, 40 bucks, right? So it's not super expensive, but it's just become so hard to find. So I jumped over to tequila because of the need, where whiskey was just getting too expensive because the bottle, Blanton's is my favorite bottle. And it's, it used to be 25. It's just about impossible to find at retail, but another great spirit, American. But maybe we can touch on some of those later on. But I think
Yeah,
a great starting point because there's just so much there and so many flavor notes, and I think that's the reality, right? That's what we're going to want to try to do is get the not to be too highfalutin about things, but really just kind of I think you and I we can say we're novices.
Yes.
Learners,
yep, for sure.
Right? So.
Yeah, and also the fun thing about tequila is like, especially if you get to go to Mexico, you get to try some really good stuff, and then you hope you can find it here, and then you're like excited when you're like, "Oh, wow, this is actually here." That's happened to me a couple times. Like I brought 6 bottles, and I was able to find 1, 2 of them here, and that was good because I'm like, "All right, cool, I can drink these." Then all the other stuff that I can't find, I'm drinking it super slow because I can't get it. So.
That's half the fun.
Today, we're drinking something you recommended. I've never had it.
Yeah, Tequila Ocho. Not only Tequila Ocho, but we're going to do the Blanco. Again, the tequilas, there's so much there, but we're going to try to keep it as simple. to start.
I have a theory
Maybe.
about good tequilas. We'll see if it works or not.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I'll
I'm
explain
interested
it
in
later.
listening.
Yeah.
So, what do you know about tequila? Which I know we kind of maybe are coming up to.
I know, I've been to like the distilleries. I have cousins that work in them. I have a cousin who was starting his own tequila years ago. I have to figure out what happened with it, but yeah, he told me there's a lot of big players who make it hard for a new one to kind of take off sometimes. I mean, but again, there's also a lot of tequila in Jalisco. I mean, it's even my cousin had his own, so it's like it'd actually be fun to try it again if I could find it to see was it any good. Maybe that's why I didn't see it pop off. But
Yeah. Well, you touched on something very important that we haven't really said, right? You just mentioned you have cousins in Jalisco.
oh
So
yeah, yeah,
not only are we of Mexican descent, right? We're very familiar with family members having tequila or
oh yeah.
mezcal that they grow at home and hey have their own. But we're supposed to be the three amigos, but the third friend probably drank too much of the tequila and just couldn't make it. So maybe next one.
He'll show up eventually. So you
We got
guys,
to remind him that he has to drink the tequila on the show, not before.
yeah,
So
we're
he
definitely
gets it.
three. We're all in different places. Everybody's doing their own thing. So obviously, everybody's probably familiar with that. Try to get together is not that easy sometimes.
We're still chilling though, right? Even though it's difficult. That's what it's
Oh yeah,
about.
yeah.
So
No, just make the
still
effort.
chilling. Yeah.
That's all it takes. People got to make an effort sometimes, especially if you got like friends that from way back. It's worth doing that because they're still friends for a reason. So that's good. I was going to say that. So yeah, I have a bunch of cousins that work in distilleries, and it's all very like top secret. They can't tell me much. As I was trying to get information, and
Yeah.
they're just like it's like my job working in like movies. It was the same
Yeah.
way. It's like give me some information. He's like, no, I can't tell you this. I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
great. Come on. Who's going to know? So it's the same
Right.
way. When people want to find out like what I'm working on, I have to say like, no, I can't tell you. So
Yeah.
it's
And,
kind of,
and it's funny because I was always like kind of cognizant of that. So I was like, I'm not going to ask him. It's to your point, right? It's kind of like, there's no point in figuring out a situation. It's always fun. That mystery is nice to have. But you're right. I mean, we get excited. We want to know the inner workings of whether it's making movies or what movie's coming out, who's doing what. Same thing with tequila, right? What's the secret to the agave plant? How long is it aged?
hey, I'll go back to Mexico and just do some more research if that's fine. Let's get started with
Have you
this
opened your
one.
body?
No, well, I'm opening it now. So
I
question,
can hear
there
it.
was some technical issues, right? Did you already have your
Yeah.
tequila sitting in ice? Is it all watered down by now?
No. I
Okay,
didn't put
good.
the ice. I know better. I'm a big whiskey bourbon drinker, so I'm using the Glencairn glass, which is just a taster. You can sniff it, taste it, and I have my ice on the side.
Yeah, I do too. So I got those big chunky ices, so I hope they kind of don't melt while we have I think the first sip we'll have straight with no ice.
Okay.
And what do you call this glass? I don't even know. I don't have a lot of glasses.
I think it's that's like an old fashioned type glass, like a
Okay.
round old
So
fashioned.
it's not a wine glass, right? I don't know what the heck this is.
No,
Okay.
you see how it has that heavy bottom?
Yeah.
That's kind of meant for like old fashioned.
Okay. Cool.
Kind of.
I'm learning all this. That's why I'm glad Carlos is here because he kind of knows more about these details. All right, so I'm opening this bottle. It kind of looks like a wine bottle to me, shape with a wooden top and a cork.
Funny you say that about the bottle, but I'll get into that later. We'll get through the tasting, and it's funny that you set me up for that wine reference, but
yeah,
talk about that after.
I've been looking at bottles and I'm like, this looks like a wine bottle. But all right, so let me have my first pour of about an ounce. I don't know. I wanted to have a little cup to measure, but I guess I've been told that if you pour for a second, that's 1 ounce. That's 2 seconds is 2 ounces.
That's the great thing about gravity, right? It's 9.8 meters per second squared, so that constant flow.
Probably did more than an ounce, that's for sure. Wait a minute, doesn't smell that sweet. Damn.
So remember, we started with the great one, I think. Now, I haven't had this one, and again, we can go into all these details, but they pride themselves on being non-additive. And we'll discuss what that means later in a different episode or later on, but they don't add anything to it. They let the agave kind of do its own thing. And even though agave does have that sugar that could turn into, it's all natural, so they don't add any sugar or anything to it. So,
all right, we drinking because I smelled it. good. Not that, I don't know. I'm not going to say, I've had some tequilas that they smell like lime-ish or lemony or whatever that is.
I
But,
think citrusy. It's a little citrusy.
all right.
Kind of like a taste it.
Do you have your taste it? I'm tasting it now.
All right.
Damn. It has a strong finish. Oh my gosh. I breathed in as I was smelling it.
Oh, that's no rule you're not supposed to. Come on.
Oh, what the heck?
That's what we got to mention.
I have drank before, people. This is not
okay,
my first
so
time.
you're nervous. It's nervous.
Yeah.
First time.
Sure. I never really like sniff my tequila like this. I'll sniff it when I open the bottle. It's like, oh, this smells good.
So that's why I'm gonna have to send you a Glencairn glass, because it's purposely made to where it allows you to just sniff a little. That glass you have, it's a little too big, so you're gonna get the big pungent alcohol smell, right? But, I know we're doing audio, but if you see the Glencairn, it's like it's a.
Oh, I think I have a glass that looks like that, but it's like for Belgian beer.
It's similar, right? It's the idea that the bottom sits, it kind of aerates. We talked about wine, and the time you get to kind of sniff. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know they take the mezcal, like, and they steam it up and stuff. So I don't know where I'm getting like not smoke. Smell it. Hopefully it's not my glass. I wonder if it's gonna smell different when I put ice in it. But do you smell any hint of like smoke? That's a
very like
earthy. Maybe that's what it is.
I would say it's earthy.
Okay, that's
earthy, kind of like grass, kind of. That's how I would describe it. Like citrusy initial smell, and I think once I tasted it, you kind of get hit with that earth. Right.
What's different? I think why I'm so thrown off by the smell is because I've been drinking stuff that tastes like it smells almost like a margarita.
Well,
like when I smell it,
the sugar they add, yeah.
No, but it's. Oh man, maybe that's it.
So it definitely tastes like the agave was cooked, right? Like I would imagine, like if you're eating an agave.
Agave is sweet though when they steam it up. Yeah, when it comes out of the.
I think earthiness is kind of like a good earthiness without the peatiness.
Well, I want to have it. Also to tell you the truth, I haven't been drinking straight too much. I always drink with ice. Yeah.
Maybe that'll make a difference for you. You throw on ice and.
Yeah, because this one definitely smells different. And then the cool thing is, so this bottle, the problem I have with this, with preparing for this podcast, we were supposed to start this like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago? Maybe?
3 bottles ago.
3 bottles ago. So I bought 3 bottles in preparation for this first episode 3 weeks ago.
I have 2. I have like Gritona.
So I bought 3. I had that one, and I had it. I drank it, and I drank.
You drank the whole thing?
I drank the whole Gritona. I drank a whole Siete Leguas.
Oh man!
And I drank this other one, Volar or some weird name. It's got like a fish. It was interesting. It's the big deal about that one. It's supposed to be made with like rainwater or something, or the farming is they capture all the rainwater. We'll talk about that one day if we all try it. But so I had definitely. Those 3 completely. I'm hoping there's not a 4th. It doesn't come to mind, but yeah, it's cool. Like, so from now on, I'm not gonna touch these bottles. Like, I'll drink what I have for the show, then I want to save it to have around to compare to the other ones, because that's probably a good exercise for me.
I think you should. So one of the reasons I actually said let's start with this one. Because even though I've had the Ocho, one of the things that they do, and again, I don't know how far we want to get into, is they treat it like wine. I think you said it's like a wine bottle where it's a different harvest, right? I think the word they use, what is the word they use?
Come closer to your mic, I think. Come a little
closer. Is better now?
Oh, that's, face your mic. That's way better.
But yeah, it's kind of like they treat their tequilas like vintages, right? So it's, when you said wine, it's funny. So even though I've had Blanco Ocho, I haven't had this iteration of it.
Oh, they're doing like the year on the bottle. It says like 2022.
Yeah. So you see the name of that? What does it say?
El Nacimiento. Mine says El Nacimiento. Yeah.
That's the same one I have. But I've had a different one that it's a different kind of vintage, if you will. I think they call it terroir. It's a French word where it talks about how it's different lands that they're using, even though they're all in Arandas. It's actually a tequila from Arandas.
Wait, this is from Arandas?
It's from Arandas. An additive from Arandas.
See? They're known for really good tacos, and actually, they have some good tequilas too. Mm-hmm. The place we're at, I found like some good tequilas. 30 is a popular one, and I bought some of that, and I think it's a reposado, and it's like whiskey-like. It's really good. But this is from Arandas. What else is from Arandas? I think Don Nacho might be from, I don't know. I got some stuff in Arandas.
There's a lot of tequilas that are no longer Mexican. They're sold out to like bigger conglomerates, right? So they have their own Fortaleza.
Oh, it's not anymore?
Well, Fortaleza it's like the grandson of one of those. But to your point, man, there's so much history. There's so much there.
Yeah.
Now, there's something that, since we're tasting them, when I first started drinking wine and even whiskey, before I actually started tasting it, I'd listened to people review talking about, it tastes like leather and tobacco. And like who the hell chews leather?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I get tobacco, but leather, it smells like, it tastes like dirt. Like I don't make a habit of eating dirt.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is I think they're referencing like feelings and emotions behind the flavor, right? So it's kind of like you said, it smells earthy. So you're reminded of like being out and you're out there, it smells like wet grass, right? So that's like, what is it, odor or sense of smell? It smells so strong that you can taste it. And I think that's kind of, that's why we can say, yeah, this tastes like leather. It's not like we're out there chewing leather, but it almost feels like you smell it. It's such a strong smell that it adds the flavor, right? Your mouth starts watering. But
dude, my bottle says botella número 147,000. So they've sold a lot of this stuff. I have some bottles here that are like bottle 2,000 or something else. But
so this is a relatively new brand, 2008. Would that be considered new?
Yeah.
Right.
Peppery. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah,
like
peppery for sure.
Pepper, like dry, without ice. I'm feeling like pepper, like black pepper. Yeah. I'm gonna do the ice. I'm gonna do the ice round now because I got my ice cubes here.
How many drinks did you have without ice?
I just had maybe I'll say 1.5 ounces, but it was probably a 2-ounce pour. I don't know.
But how many like actual sips do you think that is?
That's hard to say. I don't know. It's like 6 sips maybe.
Because I think the first 2-3 I felt the like earthiness, grassiness.
Yeah.
I think I'm on my like 6th sip, and you're right. I'm getting kind of like the pepper. So
that's the stuff I don't notice in other tequilas that I've. But again, it's the ice. I always put ice in it, so I'm gonna put ice in it now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still gonna challenge. I'm still gonna kind of have you remember. La Gritona and this one are both additive free. So
okay.
I think that'll come back around later on when we do some additive type.
Are you telling me the mango tequila I had this weekend is not natural?
Surprise.
Oh man.
Right? What is that? Right.
All right, so I got my giant ice cube that you have recommended, and I think you're right. So Luis is gonna join us eventually. We gotta get him some decent ice because it makes a difference, man. I was having these drinks with the ice that comes out of my refrigerator, like the cubes they're all white, right? And you mentioned something about if the ice cube is like really clear somehow it makes it taste better.
Yeah, because that cloudiness is the minerals that have flavor. So if you drink like water, like bottled water, it says minerals added for taste.
Yeah. Like people like salt, so let's put some salt in their water, that type of thing. They like sugar, let's put some sugar.
Yeah.
All right, so I got my giant ice cube, and I'm going to pour another 2 seconds. I'm going to pretend that means 1 shot, but I think I told on myself, right? Then all right, 2 seconds. Let me see. Hold on, let's see. All right, that's a healthy pour. I'll be happy about that one.
Chinese New Year, we want to be healthy.
Well, that's what I'm thinking for this show. I think this show is going to make me be really, really healthy outside of this, right? Like, because for a while, I stopped drinking for like 6 months completely. Mostly because I realized I was in the mode of drinking every single night. It was like red wine. I'm talking 7 days a week, 30 days a month. I would drink every single night just to like chill out after work because work would just get me all frantic and I couldn't just chill out. So I would have to have like a drink. and that
All
always
those
worked.
It's all those top secret moves you're working on.
Yeah, it's just like, and my schedule, man. I start at noon. Are we drinking yet?
Well, no, I'm just saying. Like, so I know the audience can't see it, but you see that glass, you see the ice, how transparent is it?
That beats mine.
Almost
God,
like,
how's it yours? How's yours so clear? I have
I'm
like
gonna send
one
you.
ball of fuzziness in the middle of mine.
I'm gonna send you a thing that I bought on Amazon to make it work. Basically, it just chills so slowly that the sediment has time to drop. You see that?
Oh shoot, that's amazing.
Yeah, see it?
That looks like a piece of glass in your drink.
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy moly!
Do you remember the para arriba,
Para
para
arriba,
abajo,
para abajo. I don't know the
para el
rest.
centro y
Okay.
para adentro?
Para
So
dentro,
para arriba, abajo, para el centro,
dentro y para dentro.
para adentro.
But I'm gonna do it slow. Oh my gosh, it tastes so different with ice.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I'm so like when I first had it without ice, it seemed so weird to me.
Which is fine because I think ice is a perfect way to drink. It
Ah,
opens up the tequila. It opens up the bourbon.
it just reminds me because, like I said, I always drank mixed, tequila, like in a drink, like mixed up or something like that. Or maybe in my brain I'm thinking margarita. So now I'm thinking like when I taste this,
Yeah.
I like when we were in Mexico, I'm like here, like my brother wasn't used to drinking it just straight either or with ice. I'm like, look, drink it with ice. It tastes like a margarita. Is what I would tell him to get it to drink it. I got a little bottle. The way I wish we can get bottles here, like little samples. You know how you get those dollar
Yeah.
ones? You can get those
Oh, yeah.
over there of tequila, which that could be a good. I just
they-
realized it. Can you imagine if you can bring 5 liters max from Mexico,
Yeah.
but you bring a
Little
bunch of little
bottles?
ones?
Yeah.
Oh
There you go.
man,
The ice made it smell
Hmm.
more like fresh cut grass, and it actually tastes a little more grassy to me now. But it's good.
to me it tastes way better with ice.
It lost some of that peppery for me.
Yeah, I think that's what it does. I think that's what I like when I put ice in it. It cuts back the. I don't mind the strong alcohol. That's fine. It's the. I guess I never even realized that peppery.
Yeah.
Because the only tequilas I would drink before that were like Patron. Doesn't really have that taste. Don Julio
Sugar they
doesn't
add.
have that taste either.
No, it's so basically, I think and you said you were just in Mexico. We did. Luis, who's going to join us in a future episode, we went through a tasting, right, and they talk about how you want to taste the agave, the plant itself,
Yeah.
right? It's sweet,
Yep.
but it has a lot of these properties, and I would challenge you to drink these tequilas and just on the rocks, and the next day you probably won't. You more than I kind of guarantee you won't wake up with the headache or hangover because of the sugar.
You're right. Everything I brought back, I haven't had like any kind of issues. Which I'm almost out of that stuff, so I don't go back until December. Mm.
I think I might be back there in April.
You should come back with a bunch of little samples,
Yeah, that's the plan. You go in December what?
like fiestas, like last half of December for sure.
You taking Mia?
Yeah. She loved it. So I hadn't been there like the last time I went. Could have been like 5 years gap. It felt like forever. Yeah.
Maybe I can take Christina. We can meet you guys out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're at like a little town. It's not as little as other towns though. I mean, it's a medium-sized town. All the towns next to us are bigger. Like Arandas is bigger. Tepa is huge compared to where we're at, and it's really nice. I mean, all those areas are nice.
So what are you thinking? What are you getting now? Now with the ice?
Oh man, it's All right, with the ice. You asked me too late. I've just been enjoying it. I have a little bit
Well,
of.
that's a good sign because that means that it enhances.
I wasn't tasting it. I mean, I was enjoying it. I just wasn't analyzing it. Hold on. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna do a bonus pour right now.
There you go.
I don't know what the system is gonna be for this. I know we're gonna drink it without ice, then we're gonna drink it with ice.
Nice.
Should I put this idea out there? Might as well.
Yeah, put it.
All right.
Time.
So I think there should be a phrase Oh, it could just be like, hey, this is the Still Chillin' podcast with Tony, Carlos, Luis. Eventually, we'll pick a phrase. We'll say that at the beginning. Yeah. Then we'll do the whole show. We'll have whatever drinks we have, and then we'll say the same saying at the very end. Same words, and then we'll play them back to back. To see if you can hear a difference. Because I already think I'm hearing a difference in my own voice.
Oh, I can hear. I recently seen this.
You sound the same though, but that's because you drink whiskey.
I drink whiskey.
I'm kind of new to this stuff.
Plus, you had that cheat shot. You know what they say? If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
I'm gonna have all these bottles like lined up on my wall, and I will not touch them. They will be only for show purposes.
Yeah, I mean, we need to make sure that we have the required supply for the content.
Dude, it's worth it. When we were talking about this, we were like, oh man, if we do this 4 shows a month, it's going to cost this much. And then I kind of came up with a solution to bring it down a little bit. But I don't know. It's worth the full cost. I don't really care. And then I'm like looking forward to this part of the day. And Mondays is perfect. I think Mondays is safe. Sunday's too crazy because everybody's doing their own thing with family and stuff like that. So, all right, I'm gonna tell you what I think on ice. Yeah, does this look like a 1 ounce pour to you? I don't know.
With the ice is a little bit more.
Yeah. Now I do think we should get. I had one. I just can't find it. I think we should get like something to measure. Like, okay, here's 1 ounce, because eventually if we start comparing maybe the effects, it could be dope to know we had 3 ounces, 4 ounces, or whatever. But
but what happens? Some of us are a little bit more lightweight than others.
That's me. Yeah.
No, I think that's gonna be Luis.
Oh. All right. Last time he was here, I had some beers in the fridge, and he came to visit, right? And they were like not crazy high alcohol, but they were like 10% alcohol. But they looked, they were golden color, and they were in a can. He drank. He drank like 3 of them. Like if they were like Budweisers. And the next day he was like, oh my gosh, like, dude, what happened? I only drank 3 beers. That was 30%. That's like drinking, I don't know. That's definitely like drinking at least 6. Yeah. Minimum.
10% at least?
They were 10%. I mean, I don't know, like a Budweiser was like 4.5 or something like that. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're going to drag that guy into this thing, whether he likes it or not. Spice it up.
Well, it definitely lost some of the spiciness.
Yes.
And I'm getting just a lot of kind of, I don't know why it's grass, just kind of like earthy. It just highlighted that.
Hold on. Okay, I poured extra to try to find some flavors, right?
Yeah.
I'm smelling it. I'm not choking this time. But it tastes like... Okay, I'm looking for sweet flavors now. Because maybe that's a big deal, right? Like... It tastes like...
Not very sweet.
No, it's not.
I'm not getting...
There's some sweetness, but like a Granny Smith sweet. Like an apple sweet. Like barely sweet.
I see it. Like
when it's in your mouth, that's where the sweetness is. But once you drink it, you don't feel it. Think apple. Like a green apple.
Yeah, very subtle.
Yeah, right?
Subtle sweetness.
That's the only sweetness I can even, like... It's not sweet like in like an orange or... But yeah, I gotta figure out where the smoke thing's coming from. Because, it could be like that mezcal that I found. Holy... Is that a thing that happens with all mezcal? Is all mezcal smoky? Is that what mezcal is?
Pretty much, because they burn it, right? They create like a fire pit.
So that's what mezcal is about? You won't find a mezcal that tastes like tequila? That's the typical flavor profile for mezcal?
Yeah. And I think more than the thing, they want to make sure they want to differentiate themselves as a whole different...
It's way different. Like I told you, I was at that restaurant, and I was telling this guy about good tequilas, and he's like, yeah, but have you tried this mezcal? I'm like, all right, give me a taste. Monte Lobos, dude. I was trying to find it this weekend. Monte Lobos mezcal. I found Vida. Vida sounds.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The green bottle.
I don't want to try that one first for this show because I don't know what it is about me and liquor that comes in something that looks like a wine bottle. To me, it looks like they're not trying or something. Like, come on, Vida, give me a cool bottle. Monte Lobos has a different bottle. It's really good. Have you ever heard of Monte Lobos?
Yeah, I've heard it. I'm and I've had it. I still prefer the tequila over the mezcal.
We should have it on this thing. That way we start to branch out. Like, okay, let's start with tequila. Okay, we'll try mezcal because why not? Like my cousins go to Oaxaca all the time, and I've never been there. Have you been there?
Once, but I want to go back.
My cousin goes all the time. They freaking love it. Next time, if I go for a month, go like for a weekend at least.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I guess that's where like a lot of mezcal comes from, like south of Jalisco. I've never seen much north of it.
South of Jalisco, it comes from Michoacan has its own.
Next door, mezcal. Okay. All right.
So Zacatecas, Michoacan, because there's only I think 7 or 8 states in the Mexican Union that can actually grow agave drinks, but they can't call it tequila.
Talking about that, that mango tequila I had? That mango tequila comes from Puebla, Mexico. When I looked at the bottom, like, where is this made? Oh, Puebla. And I look at the bottom, like I told my father-in-law, look, they can't even call this tequila. It says agave liqueur.
Yeah,
is what it says. It doesn't even say tequila on it.
Nope.
And what's funny is that, which I wish I had taken a picture because I would know the name of it, but my father was like, taste it, see if you like it. And I was like, man, this tastes like a Jolly Rancher. This does not taste like tequila. which, dude, I think eventually we should make an episode where you just try these like wannabe agave drinks.
Yeah. So it's going to have to be a day where we don't work the next, because we're going to wake up with a hangover with all that shit.
No, we'll save that for the day when all we can do is this. And talk about it and tell people about it so they don't waste their money.
Well, remember there's 3 things, right? You can have it cheap, good, or fast, but you can't have all 3. You can only have
wait. Cheap. Good. Cheap reminds me of tequila I brought back years ago for Luis. It looked like when we used to go to the 99-cent store and get like 2 gallons of apple juice, like connected to each other. For like 99 cents. That's what the tequila looked like. It was, and I brought it back once. It was like this giant, I don't know, maybe 4-gallon clear. And I can text my cousin right now and tell me what the name of it was. It was like a tequila in a big like Arrowhead water. I'm gonna fill up, your filtered water container that big. I brought that back from Mexico for Luis. So like I said, that's the cheap. Which reminds me, in Arandas, my brother got this tequila that he used to make margaritas with. No label on this tequila bottle. And I think it's because if you don't put a label on it, you don't have to register it, you don't have to pay taxes. Yeah. But it was good. It was good. It was really good. He made margaritas all night with it. And it was no label on it. And again, we were like wishy-washy, like, dude, should you be mixing this unknown drink for everybody? Maybe we got lucky. I don't know. I could see it going both ways, but
you don't wake up blind.
Yeah, no, we were good. It was really good.
I think so. The test is whoever brings it, you gotta say, okay, open it up and take a drink.
Okay, so I think the challenge with tequila is figure out where the sweetness, because I guess the sweetness, we know it comes from agave.
Yes.
So this brings me back to my other theory. Yeah. Connecting it to tacos. It's pretty natural, right? Tequila and tacos. All right. This is what I learned when I went to Arandas. No, it's going to make sense.
Okay.
When I went to Arandas, it was the first time in my life I realized that, all right, let's go to the best of the best taco places. I want to go to and people told me Arandas is the best tacos. I know LA's got a lot of these pop up, like they look dope. I've seen these places in LA that they look like they make some craft tacos. I'll call them craft tacos with nopales or huichicoche leche, whatever, that corn. But my point is this. When I went to Arandas, I went to all the spots that are the best tacos, and I realized there's only so much you can do to a taco, man. Like, this is the purest taco, and it tastes super good, right? Let me go to this other spot. Super pure taco, it tastes almost like the other place. So, like, once you start comparing the best of the best, it's almost like similar.
Yeah. So
that's my theory about tequila. Like, we're gonna start drinking these like super good additive-free tequilas, right?
Yeah.
This is why I want to do every 4 episodes. We got to put them back to back, right? Because you're gonna run into this thing where like it's pure against pure against pure. Can you tell the difference between them?
And here's a good thing about that, though. There's actually and there's pros and cons to it, right? So tequila's having a moment.
Yes, it is. I don't know why.
Well, I have theories of my own as to why. But anyways, it's having a moment. It's a good thing because at its purest form, tequila is great. It's not what we used to think of, the shots.
This weekend I was at my in-laws, and they're like, I gave them all siete leguas, put it in a glass, and they're like, oh, let's put this lime in there. Let's squeeze the lime. Let's spin it around, and let's drink it with the lime. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do it. I think pure tequila, you should be able to just enjoy it on its own. And during this episode, I realized, like, we're lucky, especially in Mexico when I was there. Like, you see a ton of tequila plant, agave, right? Imagine this podcast was about vodka. We'd be talking about potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah.
Like this potato versus this potato. Maybe one day we'll taste vodkas, right? But at least agave is kind of like this mystery thing that looks like a sabila, but somehow it tastes like, man, it's freaking sweet. They make honey out of it. I really don't understand it. I need to have more of it, but like it's super sweet when they steam it. And somehow that gets distilled, and that's how you still get a hint of sweetness or whatever. So at least the plant there's some depth to it, but come on, a potato?
We definitely chose the right spirit for that, right? You mentioned mezcal. Mezcal apparently has a lot of curative features.
But mezcal, again, it's way different tasting.
You had an Espadín Joven mezcal.
Yes.
I got it, right? So,
go ahead.
An anecdote for you. The most expensive, quote-unquote, craft cocktail we've ever had. We had it in Mexico, and Christina ordered it. And we paid, I think it was $60 in Mexico.
What, for one drink?
A mezcal drink.
Was it mixed with gold?
It was mixed, but I think it was a loss in translation, in particular the currency translation, right? Christina ordered the most expensive drink on the menu, and she looked at me, she's like, what? I thought it was like $15. I was like, no, that's close to $60.
$60
which is
drink
fine.
in Mexico?
And it was a mezcal drink. But so there's some high-end mezcals out there. I know they're trying to make it seem like it's the step-brother or step-sister of tequila, but it's actually, it's well worth it. It's a good drink.
I think we gotta go to mezcal next. I'm telling you, Montelobos, like, I found a tequila called Lobos or something like that. I've never heard of it, but
it's not hard to find over here.
Montelobos is easy?
Yeah.
But I gotta find the one I had. I'll just talk to that restaurant.
And, if not, if I have to send you one.
I gotta figure out how that works.
Yeah, you're right. Some states don't allow.
Forget some states. I think the country. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We can save that for when I go over there in
that interstate commerce clause, huh?
Oh my goodness. Maybe a secondary aspect of all this is we can share some of the stuff we've learned, right? Like, so even a trademark, there's some interstate stuff that has to, comes into play.
Well, I think part of still chilling is that we're able to kind of learn off each other and the experience. I think part of even though we've all kind of gone our separate ways and all in a different place in our life, professionally, personally, we come together and kind of discuss, hey, and we can let our audience know, right? Hey, here's something to do with trademarks, interstate commerce, tequilas, mezcal. Friendship is information and kind of knowledge. So
I'll tell you one more thing,
out
though.
for it.
So to me, part of still chilling is like, Luis, sometimes he asks me, like, if I don't like check in like often, he's like, ya no pelas a los pobres. Like, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'll tell you one thing, like, let's say this doesn't work. 10 years from now, we'll still be chilling. So that's why I like it.
Yep. Still chilling.
I'm going to do one thing. So what do I do with this, like, these giant ice cubes, by the way? Like, I mean, it's still there. How's your ice?
Good, look at it.
Oh, man. What should we do
That's
next?
going to be like part of
the intro?
Ice clingy.
Ooh, we'll work that in somewhere.
I think one of the things we have to figure out is how long do we want this to go? Because you're right, we can be on here and ramble on forever, but I don't think everybody wants to hear us.
This is like this episode, yeah, we'll have a structure. We should have a limit, like 30 minutes. I think it's a good, healthy limit for 30 minutes with some structure, sure. Because I'm going to get down there, my wife's going to be like, oh, you said it was going to be half an hour. And I would like way over.
I see Christina's giving me those eyes. She's like,
oh my goodness. All right. We should aim for half an hour. We should like almost
45
put a timer.
minutes.
45 max is good.
What are the limits we have to figure out? Is how much we can drink before we start?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I wasn't talking because of you. Because pretty soon you're going to want to talk about having an OnlyFans as well.
No.
Like we have a Discord. We have a...
Somehow, for some reason, Discord, a lot of streamers use it. And the main reason they use it is because it's a chat that you keep alive. That's what it is. So it has like channels. So you can have like, you have a channel for tequilas that we've tried. That's kind of what Discord is.
But it does it's reminiscent of kind of our, again, we're the 80s babies, 90s kids, the AOL chat, right? Remember 8sex location? You remember that? So it's definitely in the vein of what we know. Discord
seems new to me.
But it's chat, to your point.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't have Instant Messenger until college, so I'm always behind.
I was on AOL. And
all right, I might say this. I'm going to say this right now, but I've noticed I always join stuff right as it is ending. We have like our DFR&T stuff. We join TikTok right now, right? As all this hate is on it.
Well, I do tell my wife that I jokingly say that I'm always ahead of the curve. I just never find a way to monetize things. So now that you've brought me on, that's what we talked about. Is you took it to a place where like every time I jumped on, it was too late.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring on someone who's ahead of the curve. So we'll make it work, right?
All right. So we're almost gonna wrap this up, I think. But I don't think it's fair to only have. We had it straight. We had it on ice. We have it on ice again. Did you only have 2 pours?
Yeah, I have one more ready to go.
I'll have another one. Okay, how about this? So the first pour is no ice. Second pour is like a fresh giant cube of like the purest ice, right? The third pour is half ice, because that's where I'm at. So I'm going to have a half pour, right? I'm going to have a half ice. I'll call that. Half ice. Not bad.
Half-seas?
Yeah, half-seas. Because that, I'm going to tell Luis too, man. I'm going to have to ship him these big ice trays, because he's going to get the...
I'll get him the thing. I'll get him...
We need the good ice cubes for him. The kind that lasts, I still have ice in my cup. I'm going to go ahead and put my last pour in right now. I've got like you know what I've got? I've got a basic ice cube now. That's where I'm at.
There you go.
The size of this ice is puny.
Yeah.
Lift up your glass. Damn, dude, I'm jealous of your freaking ice.
Look at that.
It's like a crystal. This leads me to one thing. What's up with those? Oh, all this tequila cristal. What is that?
I think it's like just it's blanco, but it's
Is it filtered. Like fresher?
It's just filtered.
So they're putting more water in it or something?
No,
is the proof the same?
Longer. Well, in the US, it has to be that, right?
Well, that's what I want about cristal. Well, first of all, I've never seen cristal in the US.
The 1800 cristal.
18 has a cristal?
Yes.
We gotta have a blanco and a cristal. Can we tell the difference?
You can get this information for the people. Yeah.
We'll buy
invest.
a lot of tequilas. We'll invest in tequilas. If you want to convert your friends to drinking tequila, if you want to say, hey, try this tequila. If you want to know what to recommend to people, we're going to try to give you as many viewpoints as you might need. This one is, how much did you pay? 45?
Yeah, 45.
Damn, I paid the same. $50 with tax?
Pretty much.
Dang.
California, we have a higher.
Yeah, I was surprised when I paid 50 for this.
Either way, we'll do the investing.
And part of this will be taste comparisons because this is the first one.
Yeah.
After a few weeks, we have to try them back to back and tell people what we think.
So we can't compare them to anything we've drank that hasn't been drunk on.
No, it has to be drunk on this show. I'm gonna, after this, I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna write anything relevant to the drink taste. So we said peppery. We said kind of appley, mildly sweet.
For me, it was a big kind of like a earthy. Like, do you remember those grass stains when you used to play baseball? Slide into grass. It reminded me of a stain on my knees. Yeah. So I think once we started kind of diving into the actual agave, because that's really what you want to taste, right? The agave. That's what tequila is about. Tasting the agave, not the sugars, not that, but the natural agave with some of the sweetness. But,
dude, you know what we should try also? When we were in Mexico, I was like, can we plant some agave in our backyard? And then I looked into it, and so for some reason, like, even the agave plant is expensive. Like, see if we can research that. Can we find agave in the U.S. and plant it in your backyard? And that's step one. We'll see where it goes after that. I don't know if we can ever like boil it and taste it, but that led down like a rabbit hole.
I think that there's no shortage of ideas of way we can communicate.
I look forward to week 4 though, man.
The showdown?
I'm thinking, week 4 is going to be a showdown between the 3 that we've tasted.
Well, here's the thing. I picked the first one. Why don't you pick the second one right now?
I think we just go with Siete Leguas.
Okay, perfect. Which one though?
The Blanco. We're doing Blancos. The other one is just so different tasting, man. It's like, I'm telling you, I had that 30 like reposado, and I'm like, it tastes like more like whiskey because of the barrels. They age it longer, whatever happens. I used to think for some reason, I don't know why I thought this. I thought that tequila, the freshest was brown. And I thought they filtered it and then it turned white. No. So I thought the Blancos were like the more refined ones. No. Multiple passes, right? So then I learned that, the Blanco is like the purest from the plant. Yeah. And then it gets browner and browner as you age it in barrels. Yeah. That's my current understanding.
That's correct. That'd be correct.
Did I ever finish where I was going with these tacos? Like, if you have a bunch of pure agave, 100%, no additive, are they going to taste the same?
Well, I see. Here's what I would say, right? When we say additives, we're talking about flavor additives. Some of the natural occurring differences are like the minerals in the water, in the dirt that's used. So I do think that they're going to take on different flavors. And I think, once we get into like the details, like again, for example, this Tequila Ocho, they talk about regions and how different regions have different flavors, even if they're all, like, they can have 6 different Blancos. They all taste different because of just the rainfall, the dirt.
There's one thing we haven't even done. Shouldn't we look at the details on this label?
Yes.
Tequila Ocho Puro de Agave.
What's the name of the estate? It's at the bottom.
Well, it says El Nacimiento. Is that the estate?
Yeah.
But then it says botella number. Hey, what's your botella number? Is it 147,000 or less?
I have it in the kitchen. I can go grab it. I wonder if I ask nicely, someone would get it for me.
Hey, luckily my wife is on board. You know why? Because she does Dungeons and Dragons live streaming. She gets to chill with her friends and drink wine and play games. And I told her, hey, let me do this podcast on Mondays. I just get to chill with her friends and have some freaking tequila.
Well, you know what? Christina and I have to go back and visit you because she left there really excited about starting her own, because Mia kind of explained what she did.
You should come after I go to LA. May, June. I do. Whatever you came last was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
The weather was good. That was August.
And then Mia can, again, rekindle the excitement for Christina, and she can get on her She likes Dungeons and Dragons too.
No, I don't believe it. No way. She
No,
could try it out. Like she's had me try to try it out. I do get the interest.
Yeah.
I 100% get it. You know what it's like? It's like me and you chilling over drinks right now.
Yeah.
Like it's literally a bunch of people just chilling over like stories and like.
Yeah.
I just don't have the patience for it because I can't even play Monopoly. I can't. Yeah. I don't have the patience. It's like, and in Dungeons and Dragons, you think you're about to win, they change it. I'm like, oh come on, I'm doing everything you want. And then the guy who runs it, I don't know what it's called. They like change it up on you.
The dungeon master. The dungeon master.
It's a whole different mentality.
I can honestly say I've never played it. I've seen it on shows.
You should play it one time. I played it one time.
I'll tell you what. When do they do it?
They do it like twice a week.
Wow.
They're like hardcore about it.
For how long?
They start like 3 hours, man. I'm telling you, I don't have to pay. I can't play I can't even play chess. It takes too long. It takes way too long. I just start like giving all my pawns away. Like, just kill me, man. Like, I'm good.
So we're gonna have to pick a tequila to drink, and it'll be an inside game, just you and I. So anytime they switch the story up when there's like an elf or
we take a shot.
No, we're not taking.
No,
shots,
I don't believe in shots. If you take a shot, that's like an insult. That's where I'm at lately.
Well, it is our mission to enlighten the masses, share the information we have. We've seen the burning bush. Now we just got a part to see. So I have a friend who's really into tequila. Maybe we can have him on as a guest.
Dude, any Monday, anybody who wants to drink with us, that's what we got to do. Hold on. So I'm on pour number 4. There's no ice left. We went from no ice to a giant ice cube that could barely fit in this cup to half an ice cube. We went
from no ice to a giant ice cube.
I'm back to no ice, which explains that drawing I did. Of the ice cube dude. He was holding one of these cups, these round ones. Maybe I'll make it slimmer to look like yours. Maybe that's the format. No ice, half ice, and no ice.
I still have some ice.
How do you still have ice?
It's still there.
You know, one thing I'll say. So this whole thing was supposed to be about Tequila Ocho. We need a rating system. 1 out of 5. 10 is pretty good, I think. What do you want to give this?
I think it's this rendition is probably like I'd say 8.5. That's for me. Give it one more taste mine.
It's really good. I'll give it an 8.
All right, so next week, Chitlin was next.
And
what's the tagline?
Tagline?
That we're gonna start, and it means so we can compare. You can just say it's a parangara warateri mikwaro.
Still chillin'.
It's a parangara warateri mikwaro. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Deuces.